Hey folks, this is Matt at Coyote Creek Archery. Welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I've done a video, and I apologize for that, but it's been really busy around here. I got a lot of things going on. It's been super busy here in the store, and finally we're kind of winding down a little bit, but it's still in the middle of the rut, and I'm even late with doing these bow reviews, and so I apologize for that. But taking care of customers always comes first, and videos and YouTube and all that stuff, that's always secondary. But I wanted to get this out here to you because Elite has released their new bows for 2025, and they've got 4 great bows this year. Elite's always making really good stuff. They've made a few changes to their lineup and how basically some of their mounting options and some of that. And so I wanted to share that with you. The first bow that I've got today is the Elite Artus. This is a little bit of a change for them. You know, last year they had the Kairos and the Ethos, and the Ethos is the bow that I'm hunting with this year. I've absolutely loved it. I have it's the best I've ever shot. I shot a couple 3D rounds this year, and I shot really well with it. As long as I do my part, the bow doesn't let me down. So I've been very, very, very happy with that bow. This bow is a little bit different in that it is a 30-inch axle to axle. So it's a little bit more compact, a little bit of a shorter bow, but it still has a brace height of 6 7/8 of an inch, so very forgiving. A couple other specs: IBO speeds up to 340. The draw length adjusts from 25 to 30 and a half. Draw weights come in 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 75 pounds. Bow weight was 4.7 pounds. Let off up to 90%, and that can be adjusted there on the module. And it does list a string angle of 35.6, which is something new that they haven't done before, which is kind of neat that they're showing you that. And I think a lot of that is because this is a shorter bow, but you've got larger cams, and it's showing you that your string angle is still going to be pretty comfortable, even with someone with a 29, 30-inch draw length. A couple other changes on this bow. It still has the same cam shape, but if you notice, it's got split yokes here now, running on either side of the cam. Nice thing about this, a lot of companies that do this, that run these split yokes, and there are some advantages where it's going to kind of make things more stable. You're not pulling on one side where you're inducing cam lean. But the nice thing is this cable here that comes up and wraps around the cam, it's served all the way through. It makes one turn around the cam. It doesn't make a double loop or anything like that. It's served all the way through, and then this splitter is aluminum. Okay, so it's not plastic. It's not going to be easily to break. So I really like that, and it makes for a more stable platform. Some other things that they have changed or added this year, I guess I should say, is their rack system. You can see we've got Picatinny mount on the top and the bottom, limb pocket. Okay, and they've got some new accessories for that. You know, you could mount a GoPro camera. They have a system where you can attach a rope to hoist your bow up into a tree, but it also has a hole down the center where you could just run a piece of paracord through that real easy and tie it on to raise it into a tree stand. They've got a sling, which will mount to this. They've got a bipod. I really wish they had a tripod where you could get that cam off the ground, but kind of a really neat idea. It makes perfect sense to add this to the limb pocket. It doesn't add much weight at all, but it allows you a lot of different accessories that you can add to that. And I'll get to accessories here in a little bit because I have some on this bow that I wanted to talk about. But they did also add the IMS mount, integrate mount, and you can see that I have their Elite branded QAD MX2 rest mounted to the dovetail. It's also drilled and tapped for the Hamskea core system, which is really nice. And we also have a dovetail for a sight mount in the front. So those are all new for Elite. Nothing has changed as far as the LTR or the set for the tuning in the limb pocket up here. So that is all still there. Same grip. I absolutely love the grips on these bows. But you can see I've got a quiver on this bow. And this is the new Elite Pro quiver. It's in slate gray, matching the same color on this bow, which is actually the same color as my Ethos. And kind of a neat system. It sets in very tight. So I don't know how well you'll see this on camera, but you can see this is basically under the limb. It mounts in there so close, and that's the nice thing about this QAD rest is it brings things in so tight. If you use the core system for a Hamskea, you'd have the same thing where it's going to mount in very tightly. and then we can get this quiver nice and tight with the bow, probably as tight as anything that you'll see out there. And that's going to help make things more tight and compact, but it's also going to help with the balance of the bow if you're shooting with the quiver on. If you're wanting to take the quiver off, it's very simple. There's just a little latch down here. Okay, so I pull this down, and then this quiver will just simply pop off. It doesn't weigh much at all. It's relatively lightweight. And then all you have left is these studs that are sticking out here that your quiver will mount to. So very simple, really neat idea from Elite, and it is the 4-arrow quiver. It does have a soft foam in the hood, and it has a piece of cord on the top where you can hang this in your tree stand or whatever you want to do. So that's a really neat feature there as well. We've got a carbon fiber rod where these will slide back and forth, but you're not really able to adjust where they're located, but it does allow you to get this basically if you were to use it on a different bow. This is set up right now for the Artus. If you had a bow with a longer riser, those holes are going to be spaced further apart. We could slide this in and out wherever we needed to adjust for that. So those are some of the new things that they've got this year for 2025. Not all the bows are using the split yoke. It's on the Artus and the Carbon Eon that I'll talk about here later. And not all of them are going to have this pick mount or this dovetail mount either, but most of them are going to have that. And so anyway, some really neat things that they've got coming out. They've changed a few of the cutouts and the riser, the way it looks. It still looks similar as what they've had in the past, but it's a great looking bow, and it's an Elite. The grip is nice. Draw cycle is going to be really nice. I should mention this does come with the performance modules, and I had performance modules on my Ethos. I took them off and put the smooth mod on. There's not a big difference really. The smooth mod is just smooth all the way through. You don't really notice any type of a dump at the back end. The performance you notice a little bit, but from my experience from shooting the 2025 Elites with this different cam, it's not as noticeable. Before, I really had to adjust the let off, and this is set at 90% right now. I don't really feel like I need to do that as much. I don't need to back this let off as much, but you do have quarter inch draw length adjustments, and you do have let off adjustment with this sliding piece here on the module. And if you want to use the smooth mods, you can still use the smooth mods on this bow as well. So it's enough talking. Let's go over and shoot this. I'll talk you through the draw cycle, and we'll shoot for some speeds and see what this is getting at my draw length and draw weight, 60 pounds, 28 inches. So I'm over here at the target, and let's shoot this thing. I put the scale to it. It's showing up right at 62 pounds. The Elite manual says 3 turns on the limb bolt. This is a 70-pound bow. So 3 turns is your max on this. It got me down to 62, which is pretty common. Most of the time they come in just a little bit hot anyways. I found these Elites, if it's a 70-pound bow, and I didn't check it with the limb pockets all the way down, with the limb bolts all the way in. I'm going to guess it's probably a little bit over 70 pounds, but we are at 62 pounds, and I am 28 inches on the draw mod. Last year, it seemed like they ran a little bit long. At least the Ethos did. The Kairo, I felt like it was really close to my draw length of 28 inches. Ethos, I have mine set at 27 3/4, so I backed it off just a little bit. I did adjust the let off to about 85%, so kind of fine-tuned it where I really want it to be, and that's what I really like about these bows, is you can really dial it in to the feel that you want as far as draw length and the let off and the back wall and all of that. Makes it really nice. But let's just see what this draw cycle feels like. It is the performance mod, and it is a 30-inch bow, but 62 pounds draws very easily. There is a little bit of that dump at the back end on that performance. Okay, and you do feel the 90%. If I wanted to push that, there is a little bit, not bad, to push that forward to get over that hump, to let up. If you're not going to take the shot, that's something that you should consider. If I adjusted the let off, I'm sure that would get easier. There's a little bit, it feels like you're not holding a whole lot because you've got 90% let off there, but it's not like you have to really push it forward. Just a little bit, and then it gets to where it makes it pretty easy and controllable. So that's nice. Typical performance mod, just that little bit of a drop off at the back end. So nice draw cycle. 62 pounds was really pretty easy. Nothing to complain about there. So I'm going to shoot this, and I'm guessing just like any other Elite, it's going to be absolutely dead. I've kind of come to expect that now from their bows, but let's see what we get. So right there, you can see where it kind of drops off into the valley. String angle is nice. For a 30-inch bow, that string hits me right on the nose, and I wouldn't have any issues with that. So slight little twang to it. It is a little bit shorter bow, so maybe that has something to do with it. Very, very light and hardly noticeable at all. Just a slight little buzz, not like a big jump or anything like that. So a very, very pleasant bow to shoot. If you're hunting out of a tree stand or a ground blind, or you just like a little smaller, shorter, compact bow, this is awesome. This is a really nice bow. Let's shoot through the chronograph, see what we get for speeds at 28 inches, 60 pounds. I'm going to weigh this arrow again too before, and then I'll let you know what the weight is before we shoot through the chronograph. Okay, so I changed arrows, and I'll tell you why. That one I've got set up with some weight in the front, and I didn't want to use that. I've got others I could have grabbed. I decided just to use my hunting arrow that I'm using this year. This is a gold tip black label Quantum, a 340 spine, and it's coming in right at 422 grains. That other arrow was 465, 470, a little bit heavier than what most of your average bow hunter is going to be shooting. 420 grains is going to be right closer to that your typical bow hunter. That's right where I like to be, between 410 to 440, somewhere in there at my specs. Now, I would go heavier if I was pulling 70 pounds, or if I had 29, 30-inch draw. But being 28, 60, I like to go right in that 410, 420, 430, 440, somewhere in there, just so that I can get enough speed. Keeps my pin gaps a little bit closer, and my trajectory a little bit flatter, not dropping off so much. So anyway, you understand all that. We're going to shoot this through the chronograph and see what we get. I will try to use this same arrow for all of my bow talks this year, so we can kind of have something we can compare with all the time. But 28 inches, 62 pounds, and 422 grain arrow. Performance mods on the Elite Artus. $269. That's pretty solid. That's pretty fast. I'm going to say that's probably faster than what my Ethos is shooting. So that's nice. That's impressive. The draw cycle feels really good for 270 feet per second with this setup. So let me shoot again. We'll make sure we can get a repeat, which we typically always do. But I'm going to do it again so you can kind of see that, and then we'll wrap this up. So this is shot number 2. We were 269 before, 28 inches, 62 pounds, 422 grain arrow. Let's see what we get here. The string angle is nice for a shorter bow, 268. Okay, so again, really close to where we were before, but this, I'm impressed. I always am. Elite puts out really nice stuff. Same shape of the cam, so the draw cycle feels very similar to what I'm used to, which probably helps. The performance module gives you just a little bit more speed, and it's not an aggressive draw cycle at all. I really like the 1/4-inch draw length adjustments, and that's something I wish that more bows would do. You can really fine tune your draw length, plus the let-off adjustment. All the new things that they've added to these with these split yokes and your different attachment points, because that's just what the direction I think a lot of these manufacturers are headed, trying to get things as slim and tight against the bow as you can. It's going to make for a better balancing bow, and when you feel more comfortable and you have a better balancing bow, you're going to shoot better, you're going to be more accurate. Great strings on these bows as well. I will say the winner's choice strings on these Elite bows have been really good. Everything that I've sold, the strings have held up really well. So I've been impressed with that. For factory strings, they're some of the best that you can get. So anyway, it's enough rambling on. You got to see me shoot it and see the speed. So if you're interested in shooting one of these, go down to your local pro shop. If you're anywhere nearby, I'm in Ellis, Kansas. Stop in. I'd love to set one up for you to get you to shoot it and see what you think. But if you're looking for a new compact bow, this might be one you really want to check out. So support your local pro shop. I also visit my website. I've got an online store, so basically everything that I've got in the store is on the online store as well. I try to keep that as updated as I possibly can, and I ship things all across the country. So if you're looking to support me, I've also got new T-shirts, hats, hoodies. So if you're looking to support Coyote Creek Archery or just wanting to wear some of the swag, I've got all that on the website. So check that out, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the subscriptions and everyone. I'm not on here to make money off of YouTube. I just want to be helpful and support the archery community. So thanks. Hopefully this was helpful. Have a great day and God bless.